through thousands and millions of years of evolution, this is what women feed their babies across all species to get their guts to develop and evolve. And in fact, we know that colostrum improves the health of the immune system. And it works throughout your entire life. So this colostrum is incredibly beneficial. The main way it works is by providing growth factors to your gut cells, okay? Number 2, L-glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid that is an energy source for your gut cells. If your gut cells can make energy, they can do their job better, and they can heal better. Number 3 is fiber, okay? And you guys all know the benefits of fiber, right? They supply your bacteria with the food they need to be healthy. And this is a low FODMAP fiber, so it doesn't cause as much as of the bloating as other fibers do. And lastly, this is really cool. It's a heat-treated postbiotic. What's a postbiotic? A postbiotic are substances made by beneficial gut bacteria to keep you healthy. So your gut bacteria are actually making substances for you to improve your health. And this one, they've added it to this product because a lot of people don't make this anymore. And you need this to have a healthy immune system and also to improve your gut permeability. So this is actually being given to you in this product called Armor, all right? So lots of great benefits. And with anything in health, you have to take away the bad stuff and put in the good stuff. And this is how you do it, okay, with Armor. Now let's go back to talking about the microbiome one more time. These are about 100 trillion bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live synergistically with you, okay? You actually have 2 or 3 pounds of this stuff in your body, believe it or not, okay? And they are working all day long to protect your gut cells by removing toxins. They also, like we saw earlier in the postbiotic slide, they're also creating beneficial substances, including vitamins and minerals. They make vitamin K2, they help with the vitamin D metabolism as well. They're helping you metabolize hormones. They have so many important functions. Oh, I don't want to forget to mention, they also make neurotransmitters. 90% of the serotonin that's made in our body is made by our gut bacteria, okay? And some of the substances they make actually help regulate your metabolism. So people with unhealthy gut bacteria actually have a higher chance of getting diabetes, and they actually absorb more sugar into their bloodstreams because some of your gut bacteria actually metabolize sugar as well. So obviously super important to keep your gut bacteria healthy, right? What happens when your gut bacteria is not healthy? You get what's called dysbiosis. Dysbiosis is when that balance between beneficial bacterial species and pathogenic, meaning bad bacteria, gets tipped to where the bad bacteria overrun the good bacteria. That's a bad problem. Another thing happens is you get yeast growth. Candida starts growing in your gut as well. And then that's what leads to then the chronic inflammation and the permeability of your gut cells, okay? So you definitely want to keep those gut bacteria very happy. So once again, you want to put in the good stuff, right? You want to load up on fiber, insoluble fiber, which keeps the gut moving, and soluble fiber, which is food for your good bacteria. Fermented foods. How many of you add one fermented food to every meal every day? 5? Like a few people do. That's awesome. That's advanced level stuff. Kimchi, sauerkraut, some of these foods, just a little spoon. A small amount really works. We talked a lot about eliminating ultra-processed foods as much as possible. Polyphenols, very important. This is why you want to eat the rainbow, eating as many different kinds of vegetables and fruits as you can so you get a variety of these substances called polyphenols. You want to absolutely reduce your refined carbohydrate intake. Refined carbohydrates are what supply the bad bacteria with the energy they need to overrun your good bacteria. And lastly, stay hydrated. The more water going through your gut, the easier time your good bacteria have keeping you healthy, okay? And then lifestyle is also a big piece of the puzzle, right? So if you have your clients that you're talking about these products to, if they're not doing these things, they're not going to have as good an effect with the product. So all of this goes hand in hand. Sleep we talked about, very important. Give your gut a break. Try not to eat, We our last dinner at our house at 5:30, believe it or not. And so, we try not to put any food in our gut past 6 or 7 o'clock p.m. because that gives the gut a break. Movement. The more you move, the better your gut actually heals, and we can clear toxins better. So try to get those 7,000 to 8,000 steps in a day. Manage your stress. We talked about the blood flow, right? Blood flow is so important. You want to know a hack to get blood flow going to your gut, believe it or not? Take a few deep breaths. Box breathing improves blood flow to the gut. You can do that even right now as you're sitting there. And lastly, we talked about restricting the amount of time that you're eating. It's called time-restricted eating. Try to keep all the food that you eat during the day to within an 8 to 10 hour window. Once again, giving your gut a break, okay? And then let's talk a little bit more about what you can give your gut from a product standpoint to help it to have that beneficial gut bacteria develop. It's not just taking probiotics, okay? Spoiler alert, okay? Many people are out there taking probiotics, but putting probiotics into your system without having a healthy gut in the first place, you're just wasting your money. Think about a garden, right? You have to have really good soil. You have to plant a variety of seeds in that soil, and then you have to nourish those seeds so that they can grow. And that's exactly what happens with the gut health system that you guys are all familiar with. So, a lot of people might ask you, like, why do I need more than just probiotics? This is why. You have to create the environment for those probiotics to seed and to grow, right? You can't plant seeds into dirt. It's just not going to do anything. And let's talk lastly about GLP-1s. GLP-1s are having a moment, right? And you heard about GLP-2s a little bit earlier. And I think GLP-1s and GLP-2s, if done correctly, can be a massive game changer for humans, and especially for sick humans, right? Because 90% of our country right now is metabolically unhealthy. And we finally have a drug that can help people to reverse diabetes, and side effect is losing weight. Remember, these drugs were developed to help people reverse diabetes initially. However, what I see happening now is typically what happens with pharmaceuticals. Everyone just gets a prescription. They're like, go take this prescription and good luck, right? And there's very little education being done around GLP-1s and how to prescribe them, especially Ozempic. And so you probably heard all of the bad negative stories about Ozempic, right? People are losing muscle mass. They're gaining all the weight back after they're done with their dosing. And people are spending a lot of money on this. It can cost like $1,000 a month to get a GLP-1, right? And so they're wasting their money because then they gain their weight back. Or even worse, they lose a lot of muscle mass and they become even more metabolically unhealthy. And that's because people are not doing GLP-1s right. So how do you do GLP-1s right? So if you're considering doing a GLP-1, or if you have a friend or a family on a GLP-1, there's a few very simple rules that every single person on GLP-1 needs to know. Number one, you are going to be less hungry, obviously. But when you're less hungry, you eat less of everything. You eat less protein. And that's a big problem. You eat less fiber. So when you're on a GLP-1, the first thing you want to do whenever you're sitting down for a meal is eat some fiber and protein, okay? Focus on fiber and protein. That will keep your gut healthy. That will help you maintain muscle mass. Number two, don't lose muscle mass. How do you do that? You must lift weights if you're on a GLP-1. If I have a patient that's on a GLP-1 and they refuse to lose weights, lift weights, I'm not going to give them the GLP-1 because losing muscle mass is a disaster. Not only does it affect your metabolic health, your metabolism lives in your muscle, you also get brittle bones because your muscle is what supports your bones, okay? The other thing that you want to do when you're on a GLP-1 is you don't want to increase the dose to the max dose. That's what's happening all the time right now. People are taking a maximum dose of GLP-1. Instead, you want to just take enough so you lose weight at about 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's a healthy amount of weight loss. And the other problem with GLP-1s is, remember, GLPs are a natural hormone that occurs in our body. Like, we make GLP-1s, but because of ultra-processed food, because of poor health of our gut, we don't make enough of it. And that's why we have to take it exogenously, like injecting it through Ozempic. But the problem there is that when you take it exogenously, it further suppresses your GLP-1 production. The GLP-1 that your gut is making for yourself to keep you satiated, right? So you need something to promote and to encourage your body to make GLP-1. And that's what the Slim product does, right? So this is helping you regain your natural production of GLP-1 so that when you get off of Ozempic, you're making your natural GLP-1 again, all right? And that's what you want to do. You have to have what's called getting an offboarding program. What are you going to do when you stop the injections? You need to have good GLP-1 production by your own gut cells, and that's what this product does. So all of this kind of works together. Now, what's also very true is you can support your natural GLP-1 production by taking this product, and maybe you don't need Ozempic. It's worth trying that first, right? So I think that, we live in an incredible time right now where we have more and more incredible discoveries coming at us. And these are going to be very helpful. But the problem is, if we don't focus on our lifestyle, if we don't focus on our microbiome, if we don't focus on the integrity of our gut cells, all of this is going to be wasted money and time, and people are going to get sicker. We see that right now, right? We have so much incredible technology. We have thousands of prescription medications, but people are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And that's because we've lost sight of what's really important. And that is keeping our gut healthy, getting our lifestyle in order, and making these positive changes, right?